I have an idea for a brand new segment. Recording the cooking with George. Recording the cooking with George. Let me explain. Center it. Right about there, I like that. Okay. You see how we've got equal distance from the corners over? A lot of people say I'm OCD. I'm not OCD, I'm thorough. Okay? Thorough. There's a difference. I care about what I do. I'm detail-oriented. All right? The true induction cooktop. Now, I've done a bit of research into induction cooktops. And I have decided that the true induction cooktop is the way to go. This was my choice. And with the minimal amount of culinary experience that I have, 2 burners is the way to go. I see a lot of vans offering and being delivered with 1 burner induction cooktop. I'm a moron in the kitchen, but I know I need 2 burners simultaneously. So here we have an induction cooktop with 2 burners. The total consumption is 1,800 watts. However you want to divide that 1,800 between these 2 burners is up to you. 900, 900, 1,000, 800, you get the picture. It's all digital and it's all nice, okay? You got your full instructions. That's not all. Just wait. Here's what I'm thinking. You see this? This is the kilowatt power monitor. Now, what I'm thinking, you plug this into your outlet, then you plug your device into it, and it measures the consumption of your device in kilowatts and dollars and cents, and it times it. So now, my intention here with the new series,
Recording the Cooking with George,
is to shed some light on this whole wattage, amp hours. What do we got? How many watts? Who's doing this? I don't know. Who's on first? Now we're going to see a recipe and how it affects your battery power. You don't want to decide what to eat tonight? Well, I don't know, hon. I do like the fra diavolo. I'm in the mood for it. But let's check our battery power. Because I know that fra diavolo, if you make it the way George does, it's going to take X amount of kilowatts. Do we have it? Can we afford it? Let's check. We're going to shed some light on this subject. That's not all. Oh, you think I'm done? I'm not done. Okay? Monty Hall is applauding right now. Because if you act now, Humble Road is throwing in the actual high-class set of pots and pans that are compatible with the true induction cooktop. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. For a limited time only. That's a pretty good composition right out of the box, right? Yeah, all right. The pots and pans come with it. Now, you can't just put any pot or pan on an induction cooktop. They give you a little magnet in the instructions with the induction cooktop. If the magnet sticks to the bottom of the pan, you can use it for an induction. This is fun, right? It's just, I like that. I could do this all night. I haven't really progressed past the 5th grade. Okay. Yeah, you got to have flat bottoms. Okay, no ridges. You see that? All these pots are dead flat on the bottom. And that's to ensure even cooking, because this magnetic cooking is very different from a flame heat. Very different. There's one thing that makes me laugh. They say if you want to cook stir fry in a wok, you've got to use a flat bottom wok. That's sacrilegious. There'll be no walking in a flat bottom wok in my van. I'll tell you that. Here's what I thought we would do. we'll start making some recipes in my pleasure way, okay? I'm gonna shut off the propane in my pleasure way, all right? If I'm gonna be selling induction cooktops in the Humblebee vans, well, they're the best, they're the greatest. I gotta live it. I gotta see what it's really like to cook and live with an induction cooktop. I'll bring you along for the ride. We turn off the propane. I'm not using the propane. I get up in the morning, first thing I do is take my blood pressure medicine and I make a pot of coffee. We're using the induction. No more flame. We'll see how this goes. So tonight is a first. We're doing a little experiment with the induction cooktop. I need to peruse the instructions one more time before I actually plug that thing in. Bourbon barrels, Robert Mondavi Cabernet, aged in bourbon barrels. This has got a nice little flavor to it. I think it's, what the hell is this wine? Anywhere from $12 a bottle to $15. This bourbon aged is a hot new thing. Everybody's doing bourbon. Very good. I'm gonna let that aerate a little bit. Okay. Now we're making a fajita fatigats. I got a red pepper, and I'm gonna slice that up. Now, I'm gonna do this a little differently than I normally cook because we are unfamiliar with that induction cooktop. Normally, I'd be letting my olive oil get nice and hot in that pan, and then when I put in the peppers and the onions all diced up, ooh boy, they do a song and a dance. But I don't know just yet how much of a song and a dance I want these things to do. And we don't want to be overly cautious of consuming kilowatts or watt hours or amp hours or whatever you want to say. Lithium, AGM, sealed lead. Oh, everybody's got a different idea of what's going on. Let me put some oil in here anyway, and we'll get this thing going. You've got red pepper, you've got onion, and then you throw in what? Spinach. Of course. I put spinach in everything because it's good. It's good for you. So I grab a hunk of spinach and I roll it. I roll it. And then I cut that up. And of course, we're going to put some eggs. Obviously, once we get all this stuff sauteed nice in the olive oil, then we put in 3 eggs, whipped. When it's all done and cooked and spiced, then we use our Cholula and we slice in an avocado. Healthy. This is healthy. All right, now let's figure this thing out. I don't know how to work it. Let me zoom you out. Okay, lid is off. And I'm going to plug this baby into our kilowatt. Power went on. Did you hear that? Okay. Power. Heat, 5. It defaults to 5. Now that's halfway. High power on one burner is 10. And then it shares 10 across the 2 burners. So in theory, I'm using heat 5. Oh, look at that. When you lift the pot, it beeps because you can't use this thing without a pot in place. So you know what? That's going to be an issue for some people. I like to throw it in the air and, you know, so you can't do that now. Once you start this process, it's got to stay down on the surface. Now I'm at temperature, 270 degrees. Okay, that's the temperature. Now the timer, you can set this thing. I'm going to go for 30 minutes. And what it does is it beeps every 5 minutes. You go up in 5-minute increments, then you can back down in 1-minute increments to get where you want to go. Oh, I can smell this. I'm at heat 5. Temp says 270. And yeah, this oil is thinned out. This was wicked fast. Oh man. Let's see. Let's see if this works now. I could get an explosion. See what I got going here? Oh! Did you see? Do you know how fast this happened? I just turned it on. Calm down. Oh my goodness, there's so many things going on here now. Becky, thank you. I got food all over the surface. No matter, the food is not magnetic, so we don't have to worry. Oh my goodness, I can't believe how fast that kicked up. It really is 270 degrees, almost instantly. Oh, baby. Now, there's one problem. Listen, I'm up front. I got the zoom good, focus, okay. At this point, I like to cover this. I can't get over how quick this started cooking. I'm digging that. I like to cover that. This set did not come with a lid. This is the lid from the other pot. So I'm pretty bummed out. I want a lid for that pot. So I'm gonna call the company and find out what's going on. You gotta have a lid. So now, while I get ready to whisk my eggs, I gotta give you a few safety tips on this thing. Like I said, you gotta leave the pot in place, okay? I'm working off temperature now, and they tell you that as long as it's not on, you know, you can touch it. After you're no space on memory card, that's not okay. Recording again. My memory card crapped out. So, all right. We're still at 270 degrees. And this stuff is cooking very evenly. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm digging that. All right, now we got to get these eggs whisked. Am I zoomed out? Yes. Okay. So you can see everything going on here. All right, here's how I do this with the eggs. Oh, I dropped my whisker. That stuff is sauteing. I go like that with the eggs. These are farm raised, and they got there were no fences, and they were free to practice whatever religion they wanted, these chickens. So they should have been very happy, and these should be very happy eggs that I'm making here, because I paid about $12 for the 6 of them. I'm whisking. Oh, this stuff's kicking ass. All right, so this 5's too hot. Oh, let's go back to heat and go down to 3. How do you like that? Cut it back. You know what that means? It means you're using less power. Now let's not get into the habit of undercooking your food in order to save power. That's not what this is about. But I'm telling you that I can go up to 10. And 5 was too much on that burner to start sauteing this stuff. So I'm whisking. I like to, you know, I like to whisk. Oh man. Well, so far so good. And don't forget, I got the kilowatt meter monitoring. So now I get all of this stuff down off the sidewalls. All right. Oh, this is going to be good. And then I pour my eggs on top. Now here, normally I would, you know, I'd lean that pot around, you can't lift it off of the pot, off the burner. So that's not so great. I'm not digging that. a little sea salt, and a little black pepper. I like that. Okay? And then when it's done, I put the Cholula and the avocado in place. So now I'll let that simmer. It seems to have cooled down. I'm going up to 4. It happens fast. Very responsive. Oh, see, it went down to 3. All right, I'm up to 4. Now they tell you that you can touch the other. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. They tell you can touch the other side. You got to be careful with these buttons. They're very sensitive. This is the first time we're using this thing, okay? So I may look like an idiot, but once you get used to it, I think this is pretty cool. Now, as fast as this started to heat up and cook, I'm curious to see what my morning coffee's like, because I typically make my morning coffee by boiling water in a kettle. This kettle is not going to work with the induction cooktop because of this lip. This would be the only surface contacting, if it even contacts. That was my propane kettle. So I'm going to have to find a way to make my coffee, boil the water, and you do the whole thing. I don't know how, it hasn't been very long. Yeah, I got to go hotter. Let's go back. Let's go to 6. Let's go. Got to get this going. Here's some fuzzy math to put a replenishment value on cooking the fajita as I cooked it. Now, don't take these numbers as gospel. This is an exercise in how to apply all those amps and watts and whatnots to your daily life. Some relevance. We're going to use a single 300-watt solar panel as our baseline. At no extra charge, solar panels have inefficiencies built right into them. So you are not going to get 300 watts. More like 270, and maybe less. Next, that solar energy travels down to the solar controller, where it is converted from most likely 36 volts to 12 volts. There's an efficiency tax on your power to make this trip. Now your 300-watt panel is netting you 260. Now the controller sends all that nice free power to the battery for storage. More tax. Now we're at 250 watts. Now when you decide to make that fajita and turn on your new induction cooktop, the inverter is called into action. The inverter takes the 12-volt DC power from your battery and boosts it to 120 volts AC and sends it to the cooktop. And of course, there's a tax on your power for that as well. So now we have arrived at the true net output of our 300-watt solar panel by the time it gets to your cooktop. 200 watts is 0.2 kilowatts of sun per hour. That's what your panel is actually putting out by the time it gets to your cooktop. According to our kilowatt meter, the fajita burned 0.14 kilowatts of our battery capacity. Sadly, that wasn't the only thing it burned. 0.14 is 70% of 0.20, and 70% of 1 hour is 42 minutes. So if you want to make that fajita, and I recommend that you do, you will need 42 minutes of sunlight on your single 300-watt panel the next day in order to replace the power you used. So now, when we get back to the fajita farigats, I actually let this sit under the pot too long, under the cover. Steam does a funny thing to eggs sometimes. And I think it did it here. It also made it stick to the bottom of the pan. So I have to look into that as well. I'm used to using the old Teflon. So I put on my Cholula, and then what I do is I just scoop some avocado. I don't do anything fancy. I just scoop it, get it out, get it on there. All right, so maybe I should have chopped up that avocado a little bit. I'll agree with you there. But I never said I was a cook. Let's see. Well, yeah, I definitely let this dry out. And there it is. This is a fajita farigats. Oh man, what a mess this is. All right, here's what I'm gonna tell you. I don't mind this kind of crap, but I overcooked it, and it seems to be a very dry cook. Like I said, I don't mind this. I could eat anything. I can live alongside a 55-gallon drum burning to keep warm, and I can live on a 55-foot yacht and be just as happy. So I'm going to go and eat this with my wine, and we'll try another cooking segment later. Okay, clearly I wasn't prepared. I have to put this back in the package. Ready? Now I'll explain how we're doing this. Amp hours and batteries and lithium, and we're going to try to shed some light on this subject.
Only today, we're running a special. In addition to the cooktop, we are offering the actual pots and pans that go with the true induction cooktop. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the whole set. You get the whole set of primo, Monty Hall, remember? Monty Hall. Primo pots and pans. Look at this.